Welcome back to our Advanced Language Podcast, where we analyze trending stories through sophisticated English expressions.
Today, we are exploring a viral social media exchange about the aesthetic expectations surrounding everyday home-cooked meals.
A prominent cultural figure recently sparked a widespread debate by defending unpretentious, straightforward family dinners online.
When a commenter criticized his modest late-night meal setup, he offered a remarkably witty and pragmatic response.
He humorously remarked that ordinary supper shouldn't require intricate dragon carvings or elaborate fruit arrangements like formal banquets.
That phrase, unpretentious daily meal, highlights how we often conflate routine sustenance with high-profile culinary showcases.
Precisely, and his candid observation really hit a nerve with thousands of overworked professionals nationwide.
Returning home at 2 a.m. after grueling work shifts leaves virtually no bandwidth for decorative plating.
Eating directly from leftover pots or original containers is simply a pragmatic choice born of sheer exhaustion.
It underscores the stark contrast between authentic domestic reality and the idealized images curated for public consumption.
Notice how we can use the advanced phrase, curated for public consumption, to describe polished social media posts.
Indeed, that collocates beautifully with performative domesticity, which refers to showcasing perfect home management purely for applause.
Performative domesticity often creates subtle psychological strain, compelling people to feel inadequate about their routine habits.
Furthermore, the artists emphasized that a family dinner is fundamentally distinct from a solemn ancestral anniversary feast.
That distinction between routine sustenance and ceremonial banquets provides a fascinating window into contemporary culinary expectations.
In traditional contexts, meticulous food presentation signifies deep hospitality, respect, and ceremonial reverence toward honored guests.
However, demanding such labor-intensive standards for solitary midnight meals is entirely unreasonable and ultimately counterproductive.
That brings us to an insightful nuance: the distinction between genuine culinary care and superficial visual garnish.
Exactly. True home cooking relies on comforting flavors, fresh garden produce, and heartwarming familiarity over elaborate display.
His meal featured modest dishes like braised pork, boiled morning glory, and simple soup straight from garden patches.
Using homegrown ingredients adds a touch of wholesome simplicity that garnishes simply cannot replicate or replace.
The phrase, wholesome simplicity, encapsulates the intrinsic value of unadorned home meals served with minimal fuss.
Speaking of minimal fuss, that is another excellent idiomatic phrase for describing efficient, straightforward daily routines.
When you do something with minimal fuss, you accomplish it smoothly without wasting time on superfluous details.
It is interesting how public reaction shifted from initial mild critique to overwhelming admiration for his practical attitude.
His humorous retort cleverly turned the table on perfectionists by celebrating authentic, unvarnished lifestyle choices.
To turn the tables means to reverse a situation completely, gaining the advantage over your previous critics.
And unvarnished lifestyle choices describes living genuinely without trying to gloss over life's messy, practical realities.
Many commenters felt immense relief seeing a public figure comfortably embrace cold rice and simple leftover dishes.
It normalized the reality that working parents frequently eat solitary meals long after the rest of the household sleeps.
Normalizing realistic expectations is crucial for mental well-being in an era dominated by hyper-polished digital content.
Absolutely, because relentless exposure to idealized lifestyles often induces subconscious feelings of personal deficiency or inadequacy.
Let us examine the sophisticated discourse marker, by the same token, which introduces a parallel logical point.
By the same token, we shouldn't disparage those who genuinely enjoy culinary artistry as a creative outlet.
The key is recognizing that personal preferences should dictate kitchen presentation rather than external social pressures.
That brings to mind the expression, "to each their own," acknowledging that individual tastes vary without judgment.
In advanced English, we can also say subjective inclination to formally describe individual personal preferences.
The article also highlights how humor serves as a potent tool for de-escalating superficial online controversy.
Instead of taking offense, he delivered a light-hearted response that disarmed criticism while conveying a sensible point.
To disarm criticism means to make negative comments harmless by reacting with grace, wit, or calm composure.
That technique is invaluable in professional communication when addressing public scrutiny or unwarranted negative feedback.
Moving forward, let us examine the vocabulary surrounding domestic work, particularly the concept of invisible labor.
Invisible labor encompasses the ongoing mental and physical effort required to plan, prepare, and manage family meals.
Expecting elaborate food decoration daily unfairly multiplies that burden, usually falling upon busy homemakers or working spouses.
By advocating for simplicity, he implicitly defended domestic workers from unreasonable expectations of aesthetic perfection.
That insight introduces the sophisticated term, aesthetic perfectionism, which describes the relentless pursuit of flawless visual appearance.
Aesthetic perfectionism often undermines practical functionality, making daily household tasks feel overwhelming rather than fulfilling.
When functionality takes precedence over form, we achieve greater efficiency, peace of mind, and genuine enjoyment.
Notice how we use the phrase, take precedence over, to indicate that one thing is more important than another.
For example, nourishment and convenience should always take precedence over decorative garnishes in routine home dining.
Let us analyze another useful collocations from our discussion, culinary heritage versus modern lifestyle adaptation.
Culinary heritage preserves rich traditions, while modern adaptation allows flexibility to suit demanding professional schedules.
Finding harmony between these two aspects helps maintain cultural identity without succumbing to unnecessary domestic strain.
Precisely, and that balanced perspective reflects what sociologists call pragmatic authenticity in contemporary domestic life.
Pragmatic authenticity means staying true to core cultural values while adapting realistically to modern time constraints.
What a brilliant concept to incorporate into advanced discussions on modern lifestyle trends and societal evolution.
Now, let us review some key vocabulary items we have encountered throughout today's rich commentary.
First, unpretentious describes something straightforward, modest, and free from any display of false pride or luxury.
Second, the idiom, hit a nerve, means to evoke a strong emotional reaction by mentioning a sensitive topic.
Third, performative domesticity refers to doing house chores primarily to project a curated image to external observers.
Fourth, to take precedence over means to have greater priority or importance than something else in a situation.
Fifth, pragmatic authenticity describes adapting traditional practices sensibly to fit the realities of contemporary daily living.
How can learners naturally integrate these advanced expressions into their daily professional and academic conversations?
The best approach is practicing them in context when discussing lifestyle choices, work-life balance, or social media culture.
For instance, you might say, I prefer pragmatic authenticity over performative social media posts in my personal life.
Or during a meeting, you could remark, functional efficiency must take precedence over aesthetic perfectionism for this project.
Those sentence structures immediately elevate your fluency and demonstrate a sophisticated command of nuanced English vocabulary.
Furthermore, analyzing news stories through this analytical lens helps bridge the gap between intermediate comprehension and advanced mastery.
It shifts your focus from merely understanding basic facts to critically evaluating underlying cultural dynamics and rhetoric.
That critical perspective is precisely what separates fluent English speakers from truly articulate, persuasive communicators.
Returning to our story, the artist's light-hearted post ultimately reminded us of what truly matters in daily life.
Meals are primarily meant to nourish our bodies and foster genuine connection, not to win online beauty contests.
Whether served on fine china or eaten directly from a cooking pot, good food brings warmth and contentment.
That timeless truth resonates across cultures, reminding us to treasure authenticity over artificial performative standards.
We hope today's discussion has provided you with fresh linguistic tools and valuable insights into modern English discourse.
Remember to practice these advanced collocations and phrases in your own conversations to build lasting speaking confidence.
Thank you for tuning in to our lesson today, and keep exploring the rich nuances of the English language.
We look forward to guiding your language journey again in our upcoming episode.
Until next time, stay curious, keep practicing, and enjoy every authentic meal you share with loved ones.
Goodbye for now, and have a wonderful day ahead filled with joy.